Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Please support this channel just by liking and subscribing. That's it. Thanks for the support. So, Diddy's trial is officially over. Both sides wrapped up the explosive closing arguments on Friday. Diddy and his legal team chose not to testify or bring any witnesses to the stand. Meanwhile, prosecutors questioned 34 witnesses over a span of 7 weeks. So, here's a breakdown of the federal witnesses who testified against Diddy. First witness, Israel Flores, a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. He testified that he escorted Cassie out of the hotel in 2016 after Diddy beat her. Israel Flores also claimed Diddy tried to bribe him, but he refused. Second witness, Daniel Phillip, a male escort who said he was paid $6,000 each time he had sex with Cassie while Diddy watched in a corner and you know what. He testified that he saw Diddy get violent with Cassie. One time, when Cassie did not get up right away from the computer after Diddy called her, he threw a bottle at her and then dragged her across the floor by her hair. He said Mr. Combs came out of the room and said, "B, when I call, you come." I just saw a bottle fly past her and hit the wall. He grabbed her by her hair and started dragging her by her hair into her bedroom. I could hear Cassie yelling, I'm sorry. And then I could hear again what sounded like she was being slapped or someone was being slapped around and slammed around the room. Third witness, Cassie Ventura. She testified for 4 days while 9 months pregnant. Cassie said she was in an on and off relationship with Diddy for 11 years. She told the jury that Diddy became more violent over time, threatened her, and required her to take part in drug-fueled sex parties he called freak-offs. Cassie said she enjoyed and did not mind the freak-offs when it was something they both wanted. She did it because that was the only time she got to spend with Diddy. She admitted to being extremely jealous of his other girlfriends and said she wanted Diddy to only do freak-offs with her. Fourth witness, Yasmin Benda, a federal agent with Homeland Security investigations who searched Diddy's hotel room after his arrest in September 2024. She testified that they found $9,000 in cash, drugs like MDMA and ketamine, and items like baby oil and lubricant. Things other witnesses said were commonly used doing freak-offs. Fifth witness, Dawn Richard, a former member of Diddy's group Danity Kane. She testified that she saw Diddy attack Cassie multiple times. She said he came downstairs angry and was saying where the F was his eggs, excuse my language, and he was telling Cassie that she never gets anything right, where the F is his food. And he proceeded to come over to her and took the skillet with the eggs in it and tried to hit her over the head with it, and she fell to the ground. Dawn also said she saw Diddy punch Cassie in the face with a closed fist in 2009 before a music festival in Central Park. She told the jury Diddy also punched Cassie in the stomach at a group dinner with Usher, Neo, and music executive Jimmy Iovine. Dawn sued Diddy in 2024 for assault, copyright infringement, and false imprisonment, claiming he groped her on numerous occasions and forced her to work in inhumane conditions. Sixth witness, Carrie Morgan, Cassie's former best friend, testified that she saw Diddy physically assault Cassie on two separate occasions. The first time was at a house Diddy rented in the Hollywood Hills. The second time was during a trip to Jamaica. Talking about the Jamaica incident, Carrie said, I heard her screaming and I went to the hallway. The hallway was extremely long and they were coming out of the master bedroom and he was dragging her by her hair on the floor. Carrie also told the jury that her friendship with Cassie ended in 2018 after Diddy attacked her. She said Diddy tried to choke her and hit her with a wooden coat hanger while demanding to know who Cassie was cheating on him with. At the time, Cassie had locked herself in a bathroom. Carrie said she later got $30,000 from Diddy after threatening to sue. She agreed to keep quiet in exchange for the money, and her friendship with Cassie ended after that. Seventh witness, David James, Diddy's former personal assistant, testified that he did all kinds of tasks for Diddy, like stocking hotel rooms, buying drugs, and even driving him to confront Suge Knight while Diddy was allegedly armed with multiple guns. David James said that the incident made him quit working for Diddy. Eighth witness, Regina Ventura, Cassie's mother, told the jury that she and her husband took out a home equity loan to pay Diddy $20,000 because he threatened to release a sex tape of Cassie. She said Diddy eventually gave the money back. Regina also said she took photos of Cassie's injuries in 2010 so they would have proof of the abuse. Ninth witness, Sheree Hayes, a male escort who goes by the Punisher, said he was hired about a dozen times by Diddy and Cassie to have sex. He said he was paid $1,200 to $2,000 each time. Sheree Hayes told the jury that Diddy was naked doing the encounters, wore a veil, and gave Cassie quiet instructions during the sessions. 10th witness, Gerald Gannon, a special agent with U.S. Homeland Security, testified about the evidence found in Diddy's Miami home. He told the jury that two agents found parts of two AR-15 style rifles with scratched-off serial numbers just a few feet from where Diddy kept items used for freak-offs, including baby oil, lingerie, platform heels, and sex toys. Gerald Gannon held parts of the guns in court to show the jury and said they also found a fully loaded handgun inside a piece of luggage at Diddy's house. Jurors were also shown a large collection of drugs found in Diddy's home that included pills, marijuana, powders, and other substances prosecutors say were used to make women more compliant doing freak-offs and keep them going even when they were exhausted. 11th witness, Dr. Don Hughes, a psychologist, was called to help explain why many people might stay in an abusive relationship. She told the jury that victims often feel trapped or form an intense psychological bond with their abuser. While Dr. Don Hughes did not directly analyze Diddy and Cassie's relationship, her testimony helped explain some of the things Cassie talked about during her time on the stand. 12th witness, George Kaplan, Diddy's former assistant, testified under an immunity deal, meaning he can't be charged for anything he admits to. He told the jury he quit after 15 months because he could not keep fixing Diddy's violent behavior. George Kaplan said he saw Diddy get violent 3 times. One time, he was called to Diddy's bedroom and found Cassie crying and bruised in bed. Another time in 2015, he saw Diddy get so angry that he threw apples at one of his other girlfriends. George Kaplan also explained how he set up and cleaned hotel rooms for Diddy. He said he was often given only a few hours' notice to prepare a room using a hotel bag filled with things Diddy always wanted, like candles, baby oil, Astroglide lubricant, an audio speaker, and extra clothes. After Diddy was done, George Kaplan would clean the rooms himself because he was afraid hotel staff might record or sell photos of the mess left after a freak-off. 13th witness, Kid Cudi. The rapper, whose real name is Scott Mescudi, told the jury that when he briefly dated Cassie, Diddy made violent threats that led both of them to end their 2 weeks relationship. Kid Cudi said he believed Diddy broke into his house and helped set fire to his expensive sports car. 14th witness, Myla Morales, a makeup artist, testified about a 2010 incident when she said Diddy assaulted Cassie at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Myla Morales said Diddy stormed into their hotel suite after a night out and yelled, "Where the F is she?" He then went into the bedroom where Cassie was and shut the door. Myla Morales said she heard yelling and screaming before Diddy walked out. When Cassie came out, she had a swollen eye, a busted lip, and knots on her head. 15th witness, Frederick Zemmore, the general manager of the L'Ermitage Beverly Hills Hotel, testified that Diddy stayed there often. He said hotel records showed behavior that matched what others described as Diddy's freak-offs. Frederick Zemmore said the notes on Diddy's guest profile included always spills candle wax on everything and uses excessive amounts of oil. Place rooms out of order upon departure for deep cleaning. 16th witness, Joshua Kraft, a special agent with Homeland Security, briefly testified about examining electronic devices during the investigation. He said he analyzed 3 laptops that belonged to Cassie. One of them had a user profile named Frank Black, which he said was an alias used by Diddy. 17th witness, Capricorn Clark, one of Diddy's longtime personal assistants, testified that she was once told she would be thrown into the East River if she failed a lie detector test over stolen jewelry. She also said she was kidnapped and forced to join Diddy to confront Kid Cudi, and that she personally saw Diddy beat Cassie. 18th witness, Christopher Ignacio, a police officer with the LAPD, testified that he responded to Kid Cudi's home on December 22, 2011, after a break-in. He said he logged it as a trespassing call. Officer Ignacio told jurors he ran the license plate of a black Cadillac Escalade seen leaving the area. DMV records showed the SUV was registered to Bad Boy Productions, Diddy's company, making it the only piece of direct evidence linking Diddy to the break-in. 19th witness Lance Jimenez, a fire investigator with the Los Angeles Fire Department, told the jury he responded to a fire on January 9, 2012, and determined it was caused by a Molotov cocktail. He said there was a bottle on the front seat and there was a cloth handkerchief on the center console that was burned. Inside the bottle, I observed a liquid that gave off an odor I know to be gasoline. Diddy's lawyers asked for a mistrial after Lance Jimenez said fingerprint evidence from Kid Cudi's break-in was later destroyed by the LAPD. The judge denied the mistrial request and told the jury to ignore that part of the testimony, saying it was irrelevant. 20th witness, Deontay Nash, a celebrity stylist and Cassie's longtime friend, testified that he often saw Cassie with bruises. He told the jury that he heard Diddy threaten her by saying he wouldn't release her music, that he would get her parents fired, and that he would leak her sex tapes. Deontay Nash also said Cassie kept a lot of things secret from him, even though they were close. 21st victim, Mia, a former employee who testified under a fake name, said Diddy sexually assaulted her multiple times. She also told the jury that she saw Diddy abuse Cassie many times in his homes, her apartments, hotels, at events, and even while on vacation. She said she and Cassie had a close sister-like bond. During cross-examination, Diddy's lawyers showed the jury dozens of text messages and social media posts where Mia praised Diddy and thanked him for helping her. 22nd witness, Suzanne Oken, the manager of the Beverly Hills Hotel, testified that Diddy often stayed there under fake names like Frank Black and Philip Pines. Philip Pines. I just figured it out. Like Philippines. Yeah, what Cassie is. So he tried to, like Philip, like the name Philip and then Pines. But if you think about it, it's Philippines that I just figured it out. Okay. She said Diddy once caused a $300 charge to clean the drapes and a $500 charge to fix oil damage in one of the rooms he used. 23rd witness, Eddie Garcia, aka Eddie My Angel, a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, testified that Diddy paid him $100,000 to cover up a hotel surveillance video that showed Diddy assaulting Cassie. Eddie Garcia said that on March 5th, 2016, about an hour into his shift, he got a call from Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Koren, asking for a copy of the video. He told her she would need hotel management or a subpoena to see it, but she showed up in the lobby an hour later anyway, trying to view the footage. She was asking about the video and if there was any way she could see it. Eddie Garcia told the jury she wanted to know what they were dealing with. Eddie Garcia said he told her off the record, it's bad. Later that night, Eddie Garcia said he got a phone call from Christina and a nervous Diddy. Eddie Garcia said Mr. Combs sounded very nervous, just talking really fast, but was just saying he had a little too much to drink and that I knew how things was with women. One thing led to another, and how if things got out, it could ruin him. Eddie Garcia said he agreed to sell what he believed was the only copy of the video for $100,000 in cash. He also gave Diddy copies of his and his co-workers' driver's licenses, signed a non-disclosure agreement, and declared that no other copies of the video existed. Eddie Garcia told jurors that Diddy seemed excited and called him Eddie, my angel, you're my darling angel. A what? He also said that when they met to complete the deal, Diddy FaceTimed Cassie so he could tell Eddie Garcia that she wanted the video gone too. 24th witness, Derek Ferguson. Diddy's longtime chief financial officer, worked for him for 19 years. He testified about how Diddy often mixed his personal life with his business finances. During his testimony, the jury was shown documents from 2011 showing wire transfers involving Cassie's mother, Regina Ventura. One of the payments was for $20,000. Derek Ferguson said he did not know the reason for the payment. 25th witness, Frank Piazza, a forensic analyst, was called by prosecutors to confirm that a 2016 hotel surveillance video showing Diddy assaulting Cassie was real. Frank Piazza also verified 10 other videos that prosecutors say show Diddy's freak-offs, which they claim he recorded to blackmail the women was involved. Frank Piazza told the jury that the hotel video appeared untouched and showed scenes where Diddy threw Cassie to the ground and tried to throw a vase at her. He confirmed that all the videos entered into evidence were authentic. 26th witness, Brianna Bongolan, a longtime friend of Cassie, testified about a violent incident in September 2016. She told the jury she was staying overnight at Cassie's Los Angeles apartment when Diddy showed up, banging on the door and demanding to be let in. Brianna said Diddy suddenly came up behind her, lifted her, and tried to throw her over the balcony railing from the 17th floor. He briefly dangled her over the edge, then threw her into a coffee table. He lifted me and then had me on top of the rail, she said. For a split second, I was thinking I was going to fall, but for the most part, he was yelling at me, so I was trying to answer him. Brianna said that he held her up for about 15 seconds while yelling, "You know what the F you did." Diddy's defense team responded by showing evidence that he was in New York around the time Brianna claimed the attack happened. The judge praised the defense for what he called a Perry Mason moment, but refused to declare a mistrial over the alleged perjury. 27th witness, Enrique Santos, a forensic analyst for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, was called by prosecutors to support Brianna's testimony. He presented evidence from the phone of Diddy's former chief of staff, Christina Koren, including a message from Cassie. On September 30th, 2016, Cassie allegedly texted Christina Koren, "He came into my house and my friends were here. They woke me up because he was ringing the bell like crazy. He went at Bana and choked her, then dangled her feet off the balcony." 28th witness, Jane, known in the indictment as victim number 2, testified under a fake name for 6 days, the longest any witness has been on the stand during Diddy's trial. Jane told the jury that Diddy gave her drugs and forced her to take part in sex orgies, which he called freak-offs or hotel nights, throughout their 3-year relationship. She said these hotel nights took up about 90% of the time she spent with Diddy. Some of them lasted up to 3 days, and during those sessions, she was forced to have sex with up to 3 other men along with Diddy. Jane said Diddy controlled her by threatening to cut off his financial support, like not paying her $10,000 a month rent, or by threatening to send sex tapes to her wealthy baby daddy. She described one violent incident where Diddy beat her after she slammed his head on the counter during a fight over him being with another woman. After that, she said he forced her to have sex with a male escort. Jane admitted she was extremely jealous of Diddy's other relationships and said she did not want to do the freak-offs when she saw Diddy on social media with other women. She also did not like that their relationship was kept private while Diddy was public with others. Jane dated Diddy from 2021 until he was arrested in September 2024, and their last freak-offs was in July 2024. 29th witness, Andre Lemon, a Homeland Security Investigations agent, testified about the March 2024 raid on Diddy's Los Angeles home. He told the jury that agents found large amounts of lubricants, drugs, and firearms. Prosecutors showed the jury photos of 18 boxes of lubricant stacked in the garage, along with bottles of Astroglide lined up on shelves and drawers and even inside a cigar box, alongside Johnson & Johnson baby oil. Andre Lemon said they seized 200 bottles of baby oil and 900 bottles of Astroglide from the home. He also held up plastic bags of drugs in court and said they found ketamine and MDMA at the house. The jury was shown pictures of the guns recovered from Diddy's home, including a Ruger bolt-action rifle, AR-15 style rifles, a Glock pistol, and a Mossberg shotgun. Another photo showed a 60-round magazine filled with armor-piercing ammo. Andre Lemon said the guns were stored in a secure area. 30th witness, Jonathan Perez, Diddy's former personal assistant and the 5th one to testify, took the stand under an immunity deal. He told the jury he bought illegal drugs for Diddy and said Diddy carried a Gucci pouch that had cash and drugs inside, including cocaine, ketamine, Molly, Adderall, and Xanax. Jonathan Perez said setting up hotel rooms and getting drugs were personal favors for Diddy, not part of his actual job. He said those tasks made up about 1% of his work, with the rest focused on business matters. Rapper Kanye West was the only celebrity to show support for Diddy during the trial. He briefly came to Manhattan federal court and watched Jonathan Perez's testimony from an overflow room for about 15 minutes. Then he left. 31st witness. Anaya Senkard, a paralegal for the U.S. Attorney's Office, was called by prosecutors to read a series of text messages into the record. Although she was not personally involved in the messages, she was allowed to present them as a summary witness. The text mentioned Christina Koram, Diddy's former chief of staff, and Damian Butler, also known as D-Rock, Diddy's security guard, as key people who helped Diddy. Other witnesses also brought up their names, but prosecutors have not called either of them to testify. Even though prosecutors claim Diddy had others help him run a criminal operation, Diddy is the only person who has been charged so far. 32nd witness, Deliasa Penland, a special agent with the U.S. Attorney's Office, testified that Diddy used his companies to secretly run his criminal activities. For example, when Diddy caused over $46,000 in damages to a room at the Intercontinental Hotel in Times Square, his total credit card bill for that month was $944,059. According to evidence, that bill was paid using bank accounts tied to Diddy's businesses. Deliasa Penland also said that in 2010, when Diddy bought airline tickets for Cassie and a male escort, those charges were also paid using a Bad Boy Entertainment bank account. Prosecutors also used Deliasa Penland's testimony to play parts of the videos Diddy recorded of the freak-offs. The judge allowed the jury and lawyers to see the videos, but because of how graphic they are, they were sealed from the public. Several news outlets asked to view the tapes to describe them, but the judge denied the request. 33rd witness, Brandon Paul, Diddy's former assistant and the sixth assistant to testify, took the stand under an immunity deal. He told the jury that he bought and carried drugs for Diddy. Brandon Paul was arrested in March 2024 for cocaine possession while flying on a private jet with Diddy. He testified that the drugs were Diddy's, but said he did not tell the police at the time because of loyalty. The charges against him were later dropped after he completed a pre-trial intervention program. Brandon Paul said it was part of his job to buy a pound of marijuana every 2 months and to get Tusi, a pink pottery mix of ketamine and Molly meant to look appealing. He also said he would set up hotel rooms for Diddy's sex parties, known to him as Wild King Nights, by stocking items like lubricant and baby oil. The jury saw photos of these supplies inside Diddy's Los Angeles homes. Brandon Paul testified that he never saw Jane seem hesitant about joining the hotel night encounters and that she never seemed unwilling to be there. And he said he often spoke with Jane before and almost every time after a Wild King Night, aka freak-offs. He described the sex parties as Diddy's personal escape time. 34th witness, the last witness, Joseph Cerciello or Joseph Citrello, a special agent with Homeland Security and the government's final summary witness, told the jury he watched multiple hours of graphic videos before his testimony. Prosecutors said they were able to identify more than 40 sex encounters involving male escorts that happened between 2021 and 2024, including one that took place just weeks before Diddy's arrest in September 2024. These events were called freak-offs, hotel nights, or Wild King nights by different witnesses. Although Diddy has claimed all the sex was consensual, Agent Cercialo showed the jury text messages, travel records, and hotel receipts that prosecutors say prove these events were carefully planned and part of a criminal operation led by Diddy and his staff. The messages included Diddy paying for escorts, booking travel for the women, and requesting more supplies for the sex parties. And that is all. 34 witnesses, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted to do this video because I know people are covering this Diddy case, and every video is talking about one witness. And to have a summary of all the witnesses and their testimonies, I think that's pretty cool. Hopefully nobody copied this video, because I'm having people copying my titles word for word, and it's kind of annoying because I feel like you should be creative. Like, at least with the titles, be creative. My goodness. Right? Because I was doing the transcript stuff, right? In the beginning, I was like, okay, let me do this, because everybody's going live and just, doing the same thing, reading from the same freaking place, right? The Twitter account. And I'm like, you know what? I'll do a transcript where I don't have to wait for updates. You know what I mean? And then you start seeing people doing transcripts. And then this one person is copying my titles. So I stopped doing the transcript thing. So then I just do a whole thing without it's crazy. And I don't care. I don't care how much bigger your channel is. It's like, you weak, you whack. Let me stop. But for real though, a title you can't even come up with? Are you kidding me? Everything is not transcript. I was saying, my titles would be, I would say something like what Cassie said in court, da-da-da-da-da. And then this person now is talking about, they have their title the same thing, what da-da-da-da-da said in court. And I'm just like, and it's a few, I don't even watch this person. But for some reason, they land on my timeline and I see the titles and I'm like, wait, what? Clearly you ran into my channel, but don't think because I'm a smaller channel you could copy, because I will call you out. I don't care who you are. And then for your subscription count, your views are not even high. So you copying me, a smaller freaking channel, right? Because you probably think you would get more views because of your subscription count. And even so, that thing is low. Anyway, let me stop. But no, really, be creative. Be just at least with the titles. My goodness. Anyways, that is all, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, okay? So you know every time I drop a video. All right? And I will see you on the next one. Peace.